All right.
Clap it.
So what do you want? Am I fielding questions?
Yeah.
It's gonna be, dude, fucking, make it casual as possible.
Sure.
We're gonna do introductions for all the, just for the
sure.
camera, right? So people, name's Joe, and all the bands you played in.
Sure.
And all that. So we'll start with that. Just introduce yourself to the camera, as if I'm not even here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, that's not casual.
I know.
I don't normally just like look into something and be like, hey, it's me, Joe.
I know.
I've been in such bands as.
Yeah, sure. And do we want to do conversation style?
Dyadic. Yeah, you can just roll however you want to, bro.
Word, yeah.
And you can look where you can look here, you can look at him. It doesn't really matter, you know.
Okay.
Yeah.
If it doesn't matter.
Take it easy, bro.
Yeah.
Sure. Yeah. Just
Cool.
a conversation.
Sure.
Yeah, so
My name's Joe Reinhart. I've been in Algernon, Cadwallader, and I'm currently in Hopalong.
beautiful. So, growing up, what I start with this question with everyone. What was the first time you liked music, and the first bands you really found infatuation with?
Besides being extremely casual, it was probably around the same time Nirvana and Dookie, when Green Day started being in the public eye. I'd never heard anything like that before, and I was like, what the fuck is that sound?
Totally.
From when you live in the suburbs, you don't know what the hell punk is.
Yes.
It's somebody's older brother had to, this. I remember this kid being like, yeah, Green Day's alternative. And he was like, no, dude, my older brother says it's called punk.
Right.
And I was like, whoa.
Put the edge on it real good. Yeah.
Yeah.
And so what were other kids? So if that's alternative, what was the populace of your school listening to? What was very traditional listening?
A lot of that stuff.
Sure.
Yeah, I mean, we were going to shows and in high school and pinch in middle school, just going to punk shows. There was a lot of hardcore, a lot of pop punk, those worlds kind of meshing, the early 2000s a lot.
Totally. And then, personally speaking, what do you think drew you to aggression or just catharsis, or was there anything going on?
Yeah, it was just the energy and the catchiness are always the two things that I still sort of will hook me harder than something else.
Sure.
Will just the energy and the pace of something mixed with a hook. I'm just kind of sold.
Totally. Outside of music, how do you find catharsis? And I know that's kind of a loaded question. But is there anything else?
I surf.
Okay.
It's pretty zen. So when I'm not getting the musical high of touring or writing or something, it's nice to just turn off, and whether you're working your ass off and surfing really hard, or you're just at worst you're just sitting out in the middle of the ocean being chatting with your buds or by yourself, it doesn't matter. It's just very peaceful.
Which ain't that bad.
No,
right? Worst case scenario.
A bad surf day is still a killer.
Yeah, word. So, when did you first pick up an instrument?
Right around when I heard those records.
Gotcha. And was it guitar first?
Yeah, it was guitar.
Okay.
There was a school fair, and I walked into one of the rooms. There was a music shop set up, and there was some kid playing a Nirvana or Green Day song. And I was like, that does not look that fucking hard. I was like, that's all that is? I want to do that. And my dad had an acoustic, so it just sort of...
So were you self-taught? Did you take any lessons?
Down the road a little bit, I
Sure.
took lessons. My dad taught me the ABCs, but yeah.
Standard chords.
Yeah.
When did you find... Or did you struggle finding kids that shared the similar
No,
interests?
not really.
No.
It was... We sort of discovered this stuff together.
Okay. And then forming a band, what was your first?
Oh, that was
what was your
immediate.
first
That
band?
was the first thing. We
Sure.
didn't have anything. We're all right, well, who's going to play what? Found a drum set in the trash. You know what I mean?
Likewise with us, we got a free drum.
Yeah, I was
from some
like,
guy.
you do this. It's just, I don't care. Just, I don't know how to do it. Just, you figure it out.
1, 2, 3,
Yeah.
4. Yeah, easy stuff.
And recorded on a karaoke machine. And that was, 5th grade.
Okay, no shit.
Yeah.
So incredibly,
Yeah, just
good.
very instantly we got to do this.
Sure. When did you first start actually organizing a name for the band?
Then.
Really?
Suburban Vermin.
Okay, and so Suburban Vermin, that's sweet. So we grew up in the digital age, so everything we find is fucking YouTube or Spotify. I mean, how was your approach to tangible music? How were you putting out music?
Or my approach to finding it?
Putting it out.
Oh,
Your own music.
demo tapes.
Okay.
It's demo tapes.
Sure. And how are you recording those? They're like with a at-home cassette?
Hit play, hit record.
Easy. Okay.
Play, record.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
So 5th grade, Suburban Vermin. What's after that?
Just a ton of bands in middle school.
Okay.
You know, I think there was a ska band in there.
Ska.
You know,
Yeah,
just
hell yeah.
a little bit of recording. I think I got a guitar teacher with like a little 8-track studio in his basement. Did a demo there. At some point, I guess it was 8th grade. Probably I'd worked enough to buy like a 4-track.
So you were pretty serious about it from 5th grade, it sounds like.
Yeah, it was like
And did you ever have
my
any
favorite thing to do.
Did you ever have any hesitance at all that like this wouldn't be viable income or this wouldn't be viable?
Never thought about the income, but
Sure.
no, it was just like what I was gonna do.
You found it and just stuck
Yeah,
with it? Okay.
I never even thought of like the weight of it, like looking back on it, like thinking about myself. Then I was like, oh, this is just the thing I'm gonna do. I was like, I'm probably not gonna be able to finish high school because I'm gonna, be doing this too much.
Sure. Did you finish high
Yeah.
school?
Totally. Fucking terrible.
So did you ever have a job? Of course, you had to have like a job.
Yeah, like umpiring,
Shit.
baseball games, working at McDonald's. I think I got a check that like gave me enough to buy the guitar, and I quit. That day. I was like, we're good
I
here.
got what I need. Yeah.
We're good. Thank you. Thank you. I'm leaving now. Then I ended up working at a music store for a while. Like a music store opened up, and I saw they were open up, and I just like walked in. I was like, "Yo, you gotta give me this."
Gotcha. Okay. So then how did Algernon form, man? How did you meet those dudes? How did
I meet them?
Yeah.
I get. If we were in a different band, was it all of Algernon? All of Algernon minus the drummer were in a different band in the end of high school called Halfway to Holland. And so I met them through that. I met the drummer of Halfway to Holland, like he was just like changing his CD. I was like, yo, dude, I've been listening to that like nonstop. He's like, it's the only thing I listen to. I don't actually know why I took it out. It was like Newfound Glory or something, you know what I mean? Like their first record, and we were just like hooked. And then, so we became friends. And then I found the dude Peter, I think I met on the bus because he was listening to his music really loud, and it was Pinkerton. And I was like, man, that record slaps. And he was like, okay, guy. But, he ended up knowing the other guy, and we all just started jamming.
Okay,
and then
so super
that ended.
serendipitous.
We did other bands, and then eventually we were just like, I guess it was me and Colin, the other guitar player, we started to be like, we should maybe do something. And then we ran into Nick at a party, and we're all just partying. And we're just like, I think this might be an exact quote. He was like, we're all drunk. He's like, dude, we should start a band that sounds like American football.
Of course, yeah.
Which,
Of course, as men
I mean,
do.
I'm not like the hugest fan, but I'm not. I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that.
Okay.
And then
Yeah.
that's just like kind of what we were like, listening to a ton of like, Minus the Bear and Owls and just like stuff with crazy melodic guitar playing with like fun structures, but with like, almost like angular pop screamy vocals over it.
Sure. Owls is bizarre, man. Post-cap and jazz. Strange juxtaposition of
Yeah, I
vocals
mean,
and chords.
I kind of think that record, the first one's like the fucking Bible.
Yeah, is that the orange one?
Yeah,
okay.
like
Gotcha.
that thing to me is just like,
Okay, and then so the first drummer was Taza, right? That's his
Yeah.
last name? Okay, gotcha. And then when was the decision to let's move into a warehouse? Like, how does that commitment start? Because you guys started with the demo, right? Like the 6-song demo?
yeah, I started recording that in my parents' basement, I guess. Yeah, did the whole thing in my parents' basement.
Okay, so your father sounds like he was mad supportive, huh?
Yeah, both my parents were.
Okay.
Yeah,
excellent.
totally. I mean, we had to stop being loud when my dad came home from work, but that's fair. I wouldn't want to hear it if I worked all day. Anyway, we sucked.
Warranted.
Yeah.
So then post demo, you guys work on. What was the feedback from the demo? Was it immediate? People like it found. Of course. not immediate,
No.
but-
I mean, it wasn't. It was just like, it didn't have any weight to it, and sort of the same with the record, at least in the first full length in the beginning, just because it was like, well, we just play in bands. It's just this thing we do. Like nothing about this one seemed any special or different than any of the other things we've been doing for what felt like at the time, like our whole entire lives.
Sure.
You know, so it was just like, it wasn't like, we got to do this thing. And, you know, I mean, so we worked on it, but like, we weren't working on it every day.
Gotcha.
We were playing in other bands, we were fucking around, we were doing whatever. But like, you know, eventually we finished it and started playing some shows and yeah.
Yeah, worked out.
Yeah.
Worked out damn good. So you guys do some kind of, and first, what is the origin of the name and how do you say it?
Some kind of Cadwallader?
No.
Algernon. Algernon Cadwallader.
Yeah.
Oh,
What is
Algernon
that?
Cadwallader.
Yeah,
and
what is that?
he's the first Burgesses of the town we grew up in. So Colin, Peter, and myself were from Yardley, PA, which is like 45 minutes north of here. And the drummer grew up right across the river, Nick. And we saw it in like some old like Yardley book. There was just this picture of this old looking motherfucker with a huge beard. And I think on Peter's behest, he was like, yo, we should, like, I think he was playing like 20 bands at the time, and it said something to the effect of like, yeah, whatever band calls itself this is going to be my favorite band.
Sweet.
So I was like, all right, we'll call it, let's just fucking call it that. It's this crazy ass thing, whatever.
Gotcha. So you guys released some kind of Cadwallader, and I have a bunch of, like I said, I went through the blog spot, which is hilarious. And I don't know, have you been on it recently?
I have not.
No.
I bet it would be.
The comments are just spammed
trip.
with like escort services, like from bots. It's fucking nuts. Yeah. But I have a bunch of like excerpts from these strange tours you guys went on in like 2010. I'm gonna run some funny names by you. See, how's your memory?
That's a loaded question.
When it comes to house shows. You know?
Yeah. Maybe good.
Sure. All right. I'm gonna start with fucking. There was a tour in Ferndale, or you guys stopped in Ferndale, Michigan, at the No Bummer Zone. Would you remember that at all?
No.
Not at all. There's a pizza incident. That who was writing the blog spot?
Peter.
Okay, gotcha.
Pizza incident. I thought that was Kalamazoo.
On the blog spot, I got it all written down.
All right, I mean, them's the facts. I trust somebody writing it down the day after it happened more than me 15 years later.
Right, but okay, so no recollection of the pizza. Allegedly 20 stacks of pizza.
Those were the
boxes.
glory days.
Yeah, sure.
That's when we were really on top.
So how old were you? And how old were you guys?
Probably
2000
mid-20s
Sure,
at this
sure,
point.
sure.
Like, the full length was out.
Yeah. The 2008 record.
Yeah, that would have been mid-20s.
Okay.
Mid-late 20s.
What are I guess house shows that stand out to this day to you? Sweaty Kids. I mean, is there?
Yeah, Sweaty comes to mind.
Yeah.
Sweaty definitely comes to mind. Like, going to, like, sing and, like, everything kind of getting blurry for a second because it's just, like, screaming a note that is already at the top of my range and I'm dehydrated and just, like, everything kind of goes red and I'm, like, still playing and, yeah. Like, a lot of memories of
delirium.
that. Yeah, like, getting electrocuted because there's just so much sweat everywhere.
Sure.
And, people stepping all over your pedals because everybody's going totally insane and there's no room to breathe. Which I loved, minus the, like, turning the guitar off part.
Sure. So,
I kind of liked fighting the crowd, but I was like, please don't touch the pedals. I was mostly just protecting the pedals.
the protector of the
Yeah.
pedals. Yeah. So where we grew up, which was just like really mundane burbs, dude. A lot of like jocks and nothing at all. Like,
Sure.
Do you miss? I mean, when you're touring with Hop Along, like it's a lot more grandiose and set up and professional. Do you miss the raw chaos that you used to be in?
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't even know if it's so much the chaos that I miss. I did like the interactions with people, like with the crowd and the people throwing the shows and just like the community in general. Because like you were probably staying at whoever threw the house's show, or you're meeting a stranger being like, yo, you can sleep on my fucking floor tonight. You know, so it was just a lot more connecting with people than it is now. Like, you could do it, but it's like, you know, you go around the barricade and be like, who put on this show? What is going on here?
Right. The intimacy, I think, is so valuable.
Yeah.
And part of what I think makes it so memorable is being there and being able to fucking be so close to it. And yeah, I'm sure that's. I wish I could have experienced all that, man.
You still can.
Yeah, I know, but where do you see these house shows? Still?
Anywhere.
Anywhere still? Yeah.
Well, It's been a minute because
I'm sure.
COVID. I'm not going into a sweaty basement with a bunch of people I don't know.
Good on you. Yeah.
But I was still going to house shows before that. You know, there's a bunch of show houses around here. It always changes, kind of rotates, but yeah.
Gotcha. And yeah, we live in the fucking city now, so it's any performances at a park, or you can't do it in an apartment, right? Or in Manhattan.
Oh,
Yeah,
right.
Different city.
You can find stuff around there,
Totally. Let's see. Do you recall the Harvest of Hope Fest in St. Augustine?
I do.
Yeah, talk about that.
Well, I don't know what it says.
Mud and rain and fire ants.
Yeah, I remember the fire ants just like falling asleep after a long night of having a good time, but like not totally in the tent. So my feet are like laying outside of the tent, and when I wake up, I'm like very sweaty and very hot in a tent in fucking Florida. And I'm like, why do I feel weird? And I looked down, like my feet were all red and they were covered in fire ants. I was like, oh, this hurts. This sucks.
Yeah, it makes you feel alive.
Yeah, I mean,
it's a
but
visceral experience.
It was an amazing show. Yeah. Like we rarely got asked to do like bigger things. Like we never like. I think once we opened for the Starting Line. Kenny was like a fan and hooked it up. That was like we never played like large venues or like big festivals or anything, or bands didn't bring us on tour.
Sure.
I don't know why.
Yeah,
maybe we just weren't good enough, or people didn't like it enough. I don't know what it was, but like that world was just like so foreign.
Sure. I mean, but now, and it sounds like later you guys do start, like, do you remember Fest 9 at all?
Yeah.
Yeah, or it was written that it was way less DIY, and it felt a little odd to be in more of a professional setting.
Yeah, no, but it was still like, run by punks. It was No Idea Records doing it. Like, it's still cool as hell.
Right, ain't that far from home.
Yeah,
totally. You guys played a wedding once.
We did.
Yeah, talk about how did you like transfer? Because you guys are like the youthful. I mean, when I listen to you guys, like it sounds, it's the epitome of just kids having fun, and you guys are so much more fun than I think a lot of hardcore bands. A lot of times they get very political or sad or whatever. I think you guys are just fucking fun, and I appreciate it. I like that.
I like that.
Yeah. But how did you guys transfer that like raw chaotic energy to a more sensitive ginger
clip on?
Yes, yeah. What was that like? And who were the bride, and how'd you know them? You know?
They were just friends from Richmond. The Biases, and it was fun. It was like fun because it was like just like try to make everything sound pretty. So we just like slowed them down, and like a lot of we had to pick songs that were like finger picky and flowy anyway. Like it wasn't like that type of songs, but so we threw in some like. Made them like cocktail versions of our own things, like a little dreamier, like if, but maybe if like to put it as blatantly as possible, like if Owen had to do renditions of all the Cap and Jazz songs. And just like sweet and just like that. And then we threw in some covers that were fun.
Oh yeah, you guys do Beach Boy, Beatles, Elvis Costello covers.
Yeah.
It seems so polished compared to like the music you guys were putting out. What drew you to doing that, or what was the idea behind that?
The challenge. Like we did a whole Beatles set once. Like it was in the middle of writing Parrot Fly, so it was nice to like just like remove our heads from that and do this fun, challenging thing, and just like play music to not be like, oh my god, we gotta make a great album, and just like.
Have fun with music, dude.
Yeah, not that it wasn't fun, but it was just like a different headspace.
Well, I read a lot about the making of Parrot Flies, and it sounded exhausting. And do you recall the 11-day Guitar Center return policy?
It was a 30-day.
30 days? Okay, gotcha. So that's how you guys were getting equipment?
Just some mics.
Gotcha.
Like we had a recording set up at that point in the warehouse.
Sure.
But so we're just like we didn't have like really nice overhead, so I was like, well, let's put these on this.
Sure. Just describe the warehouse to the best of your ability.
Well,
like the living situation. What was like the night to night?
it was huge. Everybody could like a lot of people built rooms inside of it. Like it wasn't up to code. That kind of stuff. There was a screen printing studio. There was a dark room. There was a recording studio. There was all sorts of stuff. But there's like a huge common area, and like people kind of lived in the caves on the side of it, and just like one huge common area with a kitchen and like a living room set up, and just depending on who was living there, more or less clutter. But it was great because there was always people to hang out with, and what was wild is that like the core of it was just like we were all like really good friends. It was like if there was drama, I didn't know about it, and they weren't bringing it to my attention. You know, we were all just like tight buds. Like someone would be like, "You want to go do this thing?" We're like,
yeah. And any problem's easy to move on from.
yeah, like we're just friends. Like everybody played in bands or did something, and everyone was just very. It was a great time, and I still love everyone I lived with, and
Totally.
yeah, I'm still excited when I see them.
There's a story of a bat getting in the warehouse.
Probably.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What are some of the nastier things that you remember? living in that?
Nasty things. I remember. There was a fire. I think a ferret died, or a weasel, or somebody had. But you know, small furry animals dead because of the fire. It blew up some hard drives, so I lost some music that I was working on. There was a pool we brought in there, like a blow-up pool. Great idea for the first 3 days. You know, come home from the bar, just like, fuck it. But by like week 2, we were like, why is this thing still here? It's gross. There's things growing in this pool. Don't go in the pool. Don't go in the pool. Oh, he's in the pool. Yeah.
Yeah. When we were like 17, we bought a townhome, like a 3-story townhome, and like same essence as the warehouse.
Nice.
I mean, yeah, spray painted all the walls in the
Yeah.
basement. Jammed all night. Had a bunch of people over all the time. Rob, this Vietnam veteran, I let live in the basement for
Awesome.
like a year and a half. Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah. Then, what was it like transitioning out of that, man? And because you strike me as a very free person, and not allowing yourself to be domesticated. But like clearly, real life hits at some point, right? Where you can't always live in the warehouse.
No.
Right? So what was that? When did you realize, this don't cut it anymore? And
It's not so much it didn't cut it. It was just like ready for the next thing.
Sure.
You know, like I mean, I live in the city, and I guess I have friends. So I could always go do something. Like I didn't need to be right next to somebody all the time to go do something. The city is small too. Like the furthest places you ever need to go really are probably around where I live, and then where my studio is, which is like all the way on the other side of town. It's still just like a 40-minute bike ride.
Sure.
And that's if you don't have a car, I want to take public transportation.
Yeah.
It's a small city, so there's always things to do. I can always hang out with people. Yeah, it was just time. We had moved the studio out of there. I think that had outgrown it before I necessarily had. Like the professionalism of the studio was starting to, it was our full-time jobs, me and the other guy, Kyle, who ran this recording studio. Sure. So we're like, we gotta get this out of here because there's like, people walking in here half naked, borrowing headphones, and there'd be a band practicing while I'm trying to record like whisper vocals. I'm like, this, I could see why this doesn't work.
Yeah, but the hedonism of it all is, I imagine it was exciting.
Yeah. I remember walking in like in the early days, and there was, I think I counted 5 bands practicing at once in the studio and in 4 of the bedrooms. There was 5 band practices happening.
Yeah,
and I was like, this
chaos.
is fucking awesome.
Yeah.
And then like towards the end, like there'd be 2 bands practicing, and I'd walk in and I'd be like, this chaos. Get me out of here.
Speaking of cast, did you guys do a Gigi Allen cover at one point?
I don't think we would have done
No,
that.
okay. I mean, on the blog
Seems
spot,
a little off-brand.
Yeah, sure. That's what I thought as well. Let's see. What do I got here? Yeah, so let's talk, even though we talked about this off camera, Pie Lamb's 30-second human barbecue. Just talk about what it was like to play for a frat and have like the young kids so involved, right? Or I guess you were around their age, huh?
Yeah,
Sure.
definitely. Well, I'd always known about it. Like I'm pretty sure I'd went to it before we played it. Like it was just this cool thing that happened, and they always got like pretty cool bands to play, and there'd be maybe like 10 bands or 15 bands over 2 days, I think. It was a lot because they'd have like an upstairs and a downstairs going, and yeah, it was always awesome, and it kept going. It might even still be going. I haven't heard about it in a minute, but yeah.
Well, a lot of the stories of you guys up to are pretty excessive drinking.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, reasonably so. How has that changed? Or what? Describe what it was like back then. I mean, there's one quote. Again, this is all blogspot shit. The only place.
I mean, I'm glad you're telling me this now. It's a very funny to remind me
Well,
of
it's all
these things.
fucking out there, yeah. And it's like very limited. Not a lot of people really see. Or, I mean, blogs back then.
Yeah,
and
yeah, totally.
What social media is now. Like,
Right.
So much different. And I think it allowed a lot more like storytelling. And I think some of the quotes are fucking hilarious.
I gotta reread this. It's probably very funny.
There's one at some festival. I don't know, but they said you drank more beers than, because you guys would get beer tickets or something. Yeah. That you drank more beers than any other band at that festival. You alone. Yeah.
That's probably true.
Sure.
I don't.
Yeah. How can you remember?
Yeah.
Yeah. How has that changed now, if it has changed at all?
How has that changed? I don't think I'm drinking as many beers as somebody else at a festival. How has that changed? I mean, I guess I drink a little less.
What was drug use?
Well, it was also like the. I mean, maybe if we were done playing, it might be a different story. But like, at least now it's like, all right. Well, there's a bunch of people here. While these parts aren't difficult, they need to be played really fucking right. So I'll have a beer or two before I go on. But there's no like being like, oh shit. Oh well, here we go. Which was a little more common then.
Sure. Well, yeah, you guys are doing a lot of like intense polyrhythms and fucking a lot of math rock stuff. When did who was it? Someone on Twitter or someone on Reddit asked. So you guys were doing a lot more like twinkly Midwest emo stuff, and then at some point you guys really decided to go pretty heavy into way more intricate chords. Who was that? Your own idea? Or, I mean,
I don't know. I guess I never heard of it described like that, or even thought of it described like that.
That's what a person on Reddit told us. Yeah.
Fucking Reddit.
Yeah.
They love you on there though.
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you know? Or I mean, what do you think of Algernon in those days? I mean, do you know how much kids talk about it? Or like,
I kind of just, from people talking to me about it, like, I'll meet somebody and they'll be like, yeah, I was a huge fan of this. I'm like, that's crazy. People seem to say that a lot.
I mean, people call
I'm like, this is nuts. I'm like, okay, thank you. I mean, yeah.
people refer to it as like the revival of emo, or the revival of something that was kind of forgotten. Like Cap and Jazz was fucking incredible. Like one of my favorite bands, and kind of got lost a lot. Or like whatever emo was in like mid 2000s got a little weird with some really polished bands, and really like the exact opposite of how I think it started. And I think you guys reverted it back to like kids fucking screaming, and I think that's just fucking awesome. I think you guys did a huge service to whatever genre it is in, right?
Sure. Well, at some point we lost a guitar player, so maybe things changed a little bit.
Sure. Yeah, and you guys,
we're probably listening to like more Pavement and Dinosaur Jr. and Archers of Loaf, and slightly different things were getting filtered into it.
Sure. Okay, yeah, so Parrot Flies, there's a lot of instances of like re-recording, and like you guys are super sonically preferenced and like very specific with the sounds you guys want. Like Tank was restoring vintage drums at that time, and it sounded like you guys had a myriad of tools to get the specific sound you want. Like recall some of those moments of like, I mean, the frustration of trying to find the right fucking sound.
There was a lot of it because it was like I was recording bands, and it was important to me that this felt right, and it was my band. And on top of that, which is the worst thing, like all those things are fine, I wasn't that good at it yet. It was just, I was still learning how to do it and making lots of mistakes. And one of the most important takeaways from that time recording at the studio with like my own projects with we did the first Hop Along record there too, but I was the producer, but I played on a lot, and was shortly thereafter in the band, but it was very much collaborative. I digress. Either way, between that record and Parrot Flies, it was just fucking up a lot and like learning to really just work really hard at something. Just like doing it until you know you did your best, whether it's a guitar part or the mix or whatever. Just walking away being like, well, if people don't like it, I don't really care because there's nothing I can do about it because I did my fucking best.
Yeah, there's photos of you like, they say, and again in the fucking blog spot, that you converted your room to a studio at one point for the recording of Fireflies, and the photos of you sleeping in the middle of the floor or absolutely working intensively on finding the right like chord structure that you wanted. What was like downtime? When did you stop thinking about downtime and like leisure time? You know what I'm saying?
I mean, downtime and leisure time is not a concept that dawned on me until more recently. I was like, why am I going fucking insane? I was like, oh yeah, I worked 30 days straight. Like, I need to fucking like chill and day drink and go to the beach or just, read a book. Like, but when I was younger, like, I didn't need those sort of things and I could just plow through whatever. And we just stayed up all night drinking coffee and hitting record on the tape machine with my big toe. Just like doing it. And I recorded all the guitar parts twice in case one of them wasn't good enough to tape. It was a lot.
That's awesome though, because a lot of kids, I mean, with whether it's screens or phones, like I hate to be the old man yelling at the sky, but like so many kids are just downtime is so fucking relevant. Like watching a movie or going on the phone, and I think it's just so fucking cool. That relentless dedication that you had to like just work until you fucking sleep, wake up, do it again. Or that's what it sounds like.
Yeah, it was kind of like that.
Yeah.
I mean, just I lived. The studio was in where we lived, so it was the thing I needed to do.
Was there ever any damage that you felt, like any outbursts of just like fucking breaking down from that?
Just being hard on myself. Yeah, I mean, because everything needed to be as good as I could do it. So I would just sit there forever working something out, and then when that was done, it was just like, the production of the record, like, playing instruments I didn't even know how to play, or like singing things I couldn't even sing, and just like trying to make it as good as it possibly could be.
Sure. And then how do you deal with like letting go of your standards?
And then I never did, because it didn't, like, it felt so important to me, and it was just very much, it was what I was working on, and I was sort of getting to this point where it's like, people are going to maybe hear this, because it was the second record, so I just wanted to do my best. And yeah, that's why I don't understand when I record bands and like people show up and they're like, don't really know what they're doing. I'm like, what do you mean you don't know what you're doing?
This is
not like from an inexperienced perspective, but from like a preparedness perspective.
Yeah, why?
It like blows my mind. I'm like, why are you here? Like, why do I care more about this than you do? Like, go home and rewrite this. Like, this is insane to me.
It's your fucking project.
Yeah.
You better come in with an idea of what you're doing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm not like a musical genius. I just like work really fucking hard at things to try to make things that are good. Like, I'm not saying that like, why isn't this the best thing I've ever heard? But like, you can tell when people are winging it. I just that mentality I don't understand.
Sure. Oh yeah, there's a sense of pride that I think is super important and adds a lot of dignity and class to the music you put out. So,
It's very classy.
What I've asked everyone we've interviewed this so far. Like, a lot of people in this genre are either straight edge or like the complete opposite. What beyond beers? What was drug use like?
Mostly just weed. I think I was kind of weaning off weed by then. Maybe Peter too. I think Tank smoked a lot. But it was around. Yeah, we all think drugs are cool. Recreational drug use, responsible, great.
Yeah, I grew up reading William Burroughs and Hunter S.
like
Thompson, Aldous Huxley. I thought
be safe, have a good time.
Yeah. Weird piece of lore that I wanted to bring up. There's a comment on the blog spot from Tank saying shout out to Ruben for the Bob Marley. And I was wondering, is that Ruben Polo from?
I have no idea.
You would have no idea? Gotcha.
No.
Gotcha. It stuck out to me. Okay, so you guys, you do Fireflies, which is the last album besides the self-titled compilation.
Right.
What was the premise behind compiling everything I think it was 2018. You guys.
Yeah, that was.
Yeah.
Wow, was that long ago at this
Yeah,
point?
4 years now. Yeah.
No, that can't be right.
On Spotify, and I do what I can, but on
That's wild.
Spotify it says 2018.
Um,
why the revival or the?
They just been out of print for so long because we put out the records ourselves for the most part. Not entirely, but towards the end we were like putting out the records ourselves. At some point we realized that maybe we didn't like doing it. Maybe we were just shitty at it. I don't know what it was, but it just fell apart. So all the records were out of print.
Sure.
For a really long
'cause
time.
It's a lot of 7 inches, strictly tangible, right? And so we are thankful that you put that fucking in somewhere digital so we could find those songs.
Yeah, so Asian Man and Lauren Records had brought up reissuing the two, and we were like, yeah, let's do it. But also there's like the first demo, there's the second EP, and then there's a bunch of other random bullshit. Like we might be able to put together like a collection thing.
Sure.
I'm glad we did.
Yeah, likewise. Well, again, where we grew up, there's this stigma around this music that, whatever, reject music, whatever. I mean, it's very frowned upon where we've come from, and we're learning that most people in the scene are arguably the most sober and functional and open-minded people. So how, like, to the thesis of the documentary or whatever, how did this allow you to find peace or find any solace, or did you ever struggle finding peace prior to the music? And a loaded question, I know.
No, I mean my piece was the music. I guess if that doesn't sound corny. I mean it was always. I mean that was my high. Yeah, for real. Like after playing a great show, you're just like, oh shit, I feel crazy good. You know, just like your heart's beating, just talking to people, just smiling. Like that's a good feeling. Or like hitting spacebar on like a mix and sitting there and being like, fuck yeah. Like, that's a good feeling.
Awesome.
Yeah. And that's why during the pandemic, I was like, why am I so fucking grumpy? Like, I have a cool job. I get to sit here and, like, I was still working on some people's records. I was mixing records every day, but I was like, I was, like, fucking cranky. And I wasn't creating any music. I wasn't, like, actively, like, getting together with people, being loud in a room. That's... Yeah,
so catharsis is fucking important,
yeah.
right? Like,
I was just like, and it just dawned on me at some point. I was like, oh my god, I'm not doing this thing that I've been doing my whole entire life since 5th grade, like getting together with your friends and just being loud and creative, and even if it sucks, like whatever, just like the act of doing it was just gone from my life for a year, and I was like, fuck.
Yeah,
let's fix this.
Yeah, like the inner child, right?
Yeah.
I know that's fucking corny, but yeah, there's a lot of bands, when I do research on this shit, a lot of them are like Indian Summer, older post-hardcore, but super influential. They quit or ended because they thought it was young men's music, or because they thought it was immature or whatever. But I think there's like great importance in like the fun of it all, and to not take yourself so fucking seriously, right?
Definitely.
Talk a bit. How do you carry that in your life outside of music? Because you strike me as just a very childish man in the best way possible.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm like a fucking 38-year-old white dude that like bought a house. You know what I mean? Like whatever's wrong isn't like, it's fine. It's probably fucking fine. Like whatever I'm getting cranky about, like honestly doesn't matter. So with how it relates to just music and life in general is that like it is supposed to be fun. Like I enjoy working hard on things, and that's why I like producing bands too, because it's like you're in the group for a while, and you're like making friends, and we're having a good time and being creative and like giving high fives and like making people smile when like we switch something around that they really love, and seeing their art come to life, and just trying to make it fun for them, because I've been on the other side, staying up all night hitting record with my toe, driving myself kind of insane. So like being able to like be like this is gonna come out great, we're gonna have a good time.
the mediator,
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Right? What making the dreams fun again.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's excellent. So how did you meet the Hopalong dudes?
Well, I did the first record. I produced it and recorded it and mixed it.
Sure. No, how did you get in touch with them? I mean, did they know?
Just the scene. We had mutual
Sure.
friends. We actually played the drummer Marky, Francis played solo, Algernon, and maybe Big Problems. I forget what the other band was. Played in a basement 3 blocks that way, and we didn't know each other, which we always loved, because I remember the show. I remember knowing Marky's band beforehand and liking it. I remember thinking Francis was fucking incredible. I remember Francis's and Marky's mom being there, like giving out donuts or something. Yeah, but we ended up meeting through mutual friends and just hanging around, and then I guess they needed someone to make the record.
Sure. So it sounds like just being social and putting yourself out there is one of the most important parts of the evolution of you. So, or, I mean, what could you imagine?
Well, just always being around
Sure.
like-minded people, because like-minded people bring like-minded people, and it's like we're gonna get along, probably.
Right.
If you're, I don't have any friends that I think are jerks, because why would I have a friend I don't like?
Totally.
I would never suspect a friend to lie to me, because it's like, what's the point of that?
Right. Not a friend.
Yeah.
Yeah. So for someone who is introverted or doesn't go out, they're greatly limiting themselves, would you say?
Yeah, maybe to some degree, but a lot of people make great music at home, but without doing that. But if you'd rather collaborate, it's gonna be hard. Yeah.
What about, like, for people who don't make music? Like, what would your advice be for them? Like, you speak, very profoundly about creating and working really hard. What do people do that don't have that? Like, what advice would you give?
See, that's tough. Find your shtick. Like, surfing sort of supplemented my not playing music during the pandemic. It was my alternate high, and it was, I could do it alone or I could do it with people, and just like find that thing that like you get fucking jazzed about.
Totally.
Like, I'd be driving to the beach like, fuck, it's a nice day. I saw the surf report. This is gonna be great. Yeah. Or I'd be like sitting here mixing, and like I'd get a text being like, dude, did you check the surf report? I was like, no. He goes, check it. I was like, okay. Boop. Save. Walk out the door.
Sweet. Fuck yeah.
Yeah.
Do you imagine, I mean, can you even imagine a life without music, or a time where you stop? Or what would have to happen for you to...
Well,
I know
that's two different
that's
questions,
theoretical.
but
Yeah.
without it, yeah, sure, I would just not do it. I don't know what the fuck I would do. I'd probably suck at it though.
Yeah, sure. Never really good as
I'd
this.
like, yeah, I'd really probably something in environmental sciences, I would imagine, because I do really like the ocean. I find it very peaceful, and the fact that it's turned into a landfill is aggravating.
Fuck yeah.
I would do something along those lines. And do I ever see myself stopping? No. Like, maybe not touring, like doing it as intensely, but like definitely having a little recording setup where I make 100 crappy solo albums that nobody's ever going to hear in a cabin in the middle of the woods,
Yeah, on some Bon Iver.
Yeah, totally. Just, I don't know, taking mushrooms, chilling out, and being old.
Totally.
I don't know.
Yeah, fuck yeah, man. Fuck yeah. What are some bands, young kids, or if not young kids, albums that have come out in the last year that you see, I don't know how to word this correctly, but that you feel are carrying some of the same traditions that you saw growing up?
I think a ton of them are.
Yeah.
It doesn't seem that hidden to me. Like, people ask that sometimes. I'm just like, what was it like then? I'm like, it's what it was like now. And even like, and I was coming into the city being like, looking up to like all the older kids and the older bands, being like, man, they got this shit together. Like, I don't know, they probably thought the same thing about us, or they thought we were like little dicks. But either way, like, just observing what's happening now and hearing people talk about it, and like putting on shows and going to shows, and like people doing like 20 things, like playing in bands, putting out records, going to shows, like throwing shows like at the fucking pizza shop or in your basement. It's still the same thing, and people are pumped. Like, they're not standing there like this, like just like they're in Germany or somewhere where people don't give a fuck. Like, people are hyped. Like, it's always given, and even bands that like aren't that good, like people listen to. Like, sure, the people will go outside and smoke cigarettes or whatever, but they're also, it's like a very warming community. It's the impression I've always got, at least in Philly, but like the DIY scene to various degrees, like the whole interworking all throughout the whole world is like very, like anybody can get up there and play their songs or do their art, and people are gonna listen and they'll nod along, and they're not gonna just like be like, oh my god.
Yeah, they won't be vocal. And
Like
they'll fucking
everybody
sit
has
through
a
it.
chance.
Yeah.
Like it's very, it's a beautiful thing. It's glad to be a part of it.
Fuck yeah, bro. That was a great answer, man. What advice would you give to the young kids, dude? I know that loaded question, Jack. Yeah.
Do whatever you want with your life. You only get one.
Fuck yeah. All right. To get personal and get as personal as you want. What do your parents think of how far you've come?
Good. They're pumped. I think at some point they're like they stopped asking me to get other jobs, or if I was gonna get a job, or asking my friend about a position at the place they know he works at. And there, at some point, those questions just sort of stopped. Like, I don't make a ton of money. I don't make as much money as they do or my siblings do, but I don't need a lot.
Fuck yeah.
And I'm totally content.
So when did the side jobs stop? Do you remember? Like, when did the
I do.
No more pizza shop. No more.
No, it was. I was working in this pharmaceutical job doing like bullshit audio work in Princeton, and it was like a cushy job. It paid really well. I was like buying a lot of studio gear. It was very low pressure. I remember one night we played in Richmond. Algernon played in Richmond. I drove home. We drove home from Richmond. I showered, and then I got in the car and drove to the job. So I was like, I'm not gonna not play the show. It'd be insane for a job. Like, whatever. One time we crashed the van coming home from New York. It was snowy. Like, Peter was getting off of a exit, and we're like, oh my god, does the van even still work? It did, but like there was glass everywhere. So we drove home like with our heads out the window and like little pieces of glass flying at us from upstate New York. And the next day I like brushed off all the broken glass, had to put on khakis, got in the car seat, drove to work. And then my boss was like, dude, why is your ass bleeding? Because I had been sitting on broken glass on the way here, and there was just like these little red dots like in my khakis. He was like, you should go home.
It's fucking sweet. Yeah. So you never compromised, man.
No. I mean, I guess we were touring a lot and starting to tour a lot. So, and the recording was starting to like be like, maybe I could just record, and like rent at the warehouse was $330 plus, $40 or $60 in a bad month utilities plus beer and pizza. Like, I did not need a lot to live. So I was able to charge bands very little and try to get better at it and quit that job.
Fuck yeah, that's fucking inspiring. Yeah, our townhome was $600 a month $600 between the three of us for 3 stories, which is incredible. Then we moved to fucking New York and
totally.
A lot different.
No, I don't know how people would like not be okay with being like almost like a bum to like start an art career. Like, you got to start. Like, some people, sure, instantly good, whatever, rare, but like most of the times, like, you got to work at it.
Hungry
it takes
nights,
time,
Nights, right?
Yeah. Like the last Algernon show in New York. Why is my phone on? The last Algernon show in New York was like to 200 people.
Under the couch.
Under the couch. And like it's not until now that it would be to like, if we did do it again, it would probably be to more people than that. But that took 15 years.
Build.
Yeah, it took 7 or 8 years to get from the first time we played in New York till the 200 people. So.
Right. Okay. And then who are you mixing for these days? Like, what are the bands you're working with?
All sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah. If I like it, I'll do it.
Fuck yeah. Okay.
If I don't, I won't.
Okay, you don't compromise for shit.
Yeah, no, I don't. I don't need to do it. Like, I'd rather stay here and like work on my own shit than like work on somebody else's that I'm like not that into.
Totally.
Even if it pays.
Fuck yeah, money ain't shit.
Yeah.
Happiness will.
Yeah, totally.
Cool. Let me see what else I got on my notes.
What kind of media did you partake in besides music? Like, what were you watching? Things like that. What besides music? Like, what are you into?
Media wise, I guess I like a lot of like sketch stuff and like comedy things. I'm like pretty into. And in some my third life, I'll write comedy sketches, or I'll fail miserably at it and just live on the outskirts of LA for my whole life in a bungalow, trying to break into the category. But
We love sketch comedy.
Yeah.
Do you like Tim and Eric or anything?
That's the one I could never get into.
Super fucking.
I liked that kind of stuff. Like, I liked getting high and watching like Aqua Teen or like the crazy comedy stuff. Like, I loved that, but like for some reason when that came out, I was like, I don't get it. Like, I've liked their things separately as artists and comedians after that, but I don't know why.
Yeah, it's super fucking dry. And
Yeah, but that's the
yeah.
thing. Like, I love that style. Like,
Do you know Tim Robinson?
Mhm.
Yeah.
I mean,
think
that
he's-
to me is like the best shit.
Yeah, likewise. That
Yeah,
is
we
our
love that
fucking
show.
favorite in the
Yeah.
whole entire
That is-
fucking world.
How about like as like a when you were younger? What were you watching? Not what were you watching? When,
I didn't have a TV.
Yeah, man.
oh, at all?
I mean, like,
Whoa.
I grew, like, once I left my parents, I guess we moved to the city around 22-ish, I think. I had a TV, but it was like hooked up to a DVD player. So like, I wasn't like, if I wasn't borrowing somebody's DVD, I didn't have it.
It's crazy. Can't
That-
even imagine.
Yeah, that's the TV I have downstairs is the first one I've had, and I bought that a year and a half ago.
Wow.
Yeah, without that fucking portal to escapism, I think
Yeah.
that's what enabled you to create so much. You would agree, I'd say. Yeah.
Yeah, it was just didn't feel as important to me. And then it felt like the quality of like shows got better. Like, it wasn't like a mindless activity to like blast through a bazillion seasons of like the Wire, like, and the just like shows start to become more engaging to me at some point. Like, they were like actually like mini fucking movie marathons as opposed to, I don't know, like, what were sitcoms before that kind of stuff.
Seinfeld, which is
Yeah,
time and
it's
place.
just like there's time to turn off, and I like TV for that reason. Like, after working all day, like, I like watching something stupid. But if you want to be engaged, there's a million things to do that now, and I feel like maybe that didn't exist, and I just didn't care.
Yeah, I think your generation was better off for it, honestly, without having all that distraction. I think we've about covered it, Joe. How about Hanksgiving? Does that ring any bell?
Yeah, definitely.
talk about that.
You gotta. We gave Hanks. So there was anywhere from 8 to 11 people living at this warehouse at any given point, and those were just the people that like would sleep there at night on a regular basis. But so we would just invite all of our friends and have a huge, I guess. I wonder what the most amount of people we've ever had for one of those. Maybe 50 comes to mind. I don't know. And everyone would just make food, and we'd get a keg and a huge projector that like would take up the side of 2 row homes. We were just hung
Badass.
and watched
Yeah.
Tom Hanks movies. And
Yeah, rather than traditional Thanksgiving, which is
Yeah.
honoring whatever.
we honored Tom Hanks.
Yeah, beautiful. Yeah, you guys talk about these potlucks you throw and the psychedelic pine. Does that ring any bell?
I don't know this one.
Yeah, no, these are all the shit I've wrote down. I don't know. Yeah.
Like, reading other stuff, psychedelic.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I have a weird
yeah.
one.
What
Does
is
Spirit of
that?
the Frog mean anything to you?
Spirit of the Frog.
Yeah, people on Reddit say, or like, were very adamant about asking. Just means nothing. Then never mind. Okay.
I thought it meant psychedelics. Like, licking
Yeah, like
frogs
sort of,
and-
yeah.
No.
Gotcha.
People making up their own stories nowadays.
Yeah, fucking for real.
I love that stuff though. I think that's so alluring because I mean, a lot of Peter's lyrics were not like intentionally about like a specific thing. Like, I mean, maybe it was, but the words he was using wouldn't lead you down a specific path. So everybody has their own interpretations about, you know, what it means to them or what. It can be a lot of feelings to a lot of people, and I think that was definitely a huge part
it's
of
word association.
it. Like, you know, people latching onto it because it wasn't, you know, you didn't have to have a stance.
It's fucking random words that make you feel some way.
Yeah.
Right? And then people attach their own stories to it. I think that's kind of what makes it timeless, if I might say. All right. But yeah, what does contemporary Joe do now? Or what can the fans look out for? And all that?
Honestly, I'm trying to do a lot, like create and write a lot more music this, you know, in the next year or two with all sorts of projects. Yeah.
Anything solo? Would you ever venture that way?
Yeah, totally. I mean, I have piles of unfinished things, some finished things. It's just, you know, any of the good parts of it usually get recycled into something else. But, you know, starting new projects and trying to maybe like take on a little less production work to just do my own music. That's what I want to do. Like, you know, start new bands and have fun with old ones. Yeah.
Ooh.
Yeah, that does it, man. You
Yeah.
did great.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course, man. You
Thank
killed
you.
it.
Wait, fun with old ones. Like what? See, another thing was like people were, will there ever be a reunion? People were definitely curious about that. I'm sure there won't, but
I don't know.
uh,
I would like to do it at some point, but you know, the time's got to be right.
of course. Well, I'll just keep that in for the mystique, you know, just
Yeah.
maybe. You know, dot dot dot. Beautiful, thank you.
I don't want to have to relearn all those songs though.
Okay. Have you do you forget? How to
The,
play?
I remember to play some of the ones that are in standard because my guitars are usually in standard, but all the other ones are in other. Most Algernon stuff's like 80% of it's in weird tunings.
Fuck yeah.
So it's
Cape.
the last time I played a guitar in that tuning was probably the last Algernon show.
Gotcha. Interesting.
So that's all gone. If we do have to do something, I'm gonna be watching a lot of like kids on YouTube playing Algernon songs.
See how they tune it? Yeah, no, totally.
Yeah.
Interesting. Cool.
That's fucking badass. Awesome. Well, thank you.
Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, cool.
Well, thank you, bro.